Hello everyone. This podcast on methods for exploring creativity is part of a series of materials produced within the Erasmus Plus project Action 2, Find Your Talent, Work on Your Skills, which unfolded between 2019-2021 with the huge support, involvement and work of a wonderful team of youth workers and young people from the Netherlands, Belgium, Poland and Romania. More details about our project in the link below. In one of our workshops from this project, a local workshop, we worked on exploring different methods and different ways for exploring creativity so that our participants understand the concept of creativity as a complex ability and of its importance in our lives, and to try to discover ways for improving all of our creative potential and to acquire methods to overcome barriers that may appear during the creation. One of the favorite quotes that we use sometimes when we talk about creativity belongs to Mr. Thomas Edison, and it's connected to his story of successes and failures in his search for improving the light bulb. As such, he said, I quote, "I did not miss 700 times, I just found 700 ways that did not work. So we needed to try another way." So what is creativity? Well, creativity is the ability to think about a task or a problem in a new and different way, or the ability to use the imagination to generate new ideas. It enables you to solve complex problems and approach tasks. The more you know about one thing, the more you can be creative regarding that thing or occupation or hobby and so on. To develop creativity is actually all connected to learning. It's about improving your possible interactions between different things, different objects, different concepts, different ideas. It's about allowing our mind and training our mind to do associations and affiliations. One method that we sometimes use in order to make young people, youngsters, but also adults aware of the fact that they are creative is to share with them a set of questions that we then ask to address to other peers of theirs, but also for themselves to reflect on these questions, and we will share here some of these questions. For example, tell us one thing that you noticed on your way to a specific venue or on your way home while you are coming back home to listen to this wonderful podcast. Or another question could be, what do you consider to be a role model in creativity? In this respect, lots of people go directly to the idea of arts and crafts, where you do require a lot of creativity, but also people thinking like this block themselves because they believe that if they're not in the field of arts, they're not creative, which of course is not true. Creativity exists in all fields and walks of life. Another question would be, if your life was a movie, what would the title be? Or, if you had to choose, do you want to be really rich or really creative? Honestly, probably most of us would choose both options. In your second life, after you die, would you rather come back as a sculptor, an actor, or a frog? And another question for all those young at heart and mind, do you still feel able to play? Or, what is your favorite artist? Do you consider yourself creative? Now the 100 points question. What is creativity? What do you consider to be a role model in creativity? And the list could go on. But basically, as we ask ourselves these things and we come up with maybe fun answers or very insightful answers about ourselves, we do realize that actually everyone is truly creative. Of course, of course, there are some barriers in creativity. And in tackling with the barriers, one simple way is to come up with the method which is called, or an approach which is called the three cornerstones needed to avoid barriers of creativity. The first basic cornerstone would be to develop numerous interactions between ideas, concepts, things that will help you reach that creative solution that you need. And for this, you need to learn on a specific issue that you're interested, investigate, read, watch, make background information bigger. So as you see, nothing is simple. There's no simple way, unfortunately, for being creative either. It does require effort, but sometimes it's even about an unconscious effort. You need to strive for a solution or for a creative idea, but in a way that is not stressful. You let yourself time to think, and sometimes ideas will just pop out after you have done some hours of thinking. You then relax at one point and ideas magically appear. It's not by magic, it's actually your brain taking the time to process everything. A second cornerstone would be avoid typical environments. Don't do the usual activities. Try somehow to change things in your life, even the very simple one. Change, for example, your office backgrounds, go to a forest, go to a park, take another route home, even if it's a longer route, but take another route home, watch the scenery, and the same ideas may pop out. People are generally so stressed about coming up with some creative ideas, with some creative new things, and they believe that by really struggling with their mind and digging deep and deep and deep, they will find out a solution. But sometimes the brain needs to be calm, the brain needs to be chill, and then you'll come up with a good idea. And a third cornerstone would be to stop the mental constipation. Get out of the rut and change, as we said, your typical patterns. Also, it's very good to somehow write down ideas that appear in your mind while you're in a creative process. Draw them, type them, do it so that they somehow come to shape in a physical way. This will help you a lot into structuring your own ideas. When it comes to methods for developing creativity with the youngsters that we work with, the internet is full of such possible methodologies and ideas, and we will just mention a few. The fishbone diagram, the mind mapping, the famous 6 thinking hats, and the design thinking process, which is actually something that we love a lot in this project. And one of our partners, iDrops, has developed a training course on this. And on our website, findyourtalent.eu, you will find a very useful talent guide which has an entire chapter dedicated to design thinking process. All these methods and many more that you can find online for unleashing creativity are extremely useful, provided that you come up with a mindset in which you explain to the young people that being creative is not an A, B, C, D, E process necessarily, but it's a process with ups and downs, and that in the moment that they start to think and brainstorm on an idea, they need to let these ideas simmer. It's not a linear process. It's with ups and downs, but the end result is really interesting always and very useful. Boosting young people's confidence in the fact that they're creative is a very important aspect. And if you come up with the right questions, and if you put them in settings in which they challenge each other, they work together for finding some creative solutions or do some kind of brainstorming, then the success is guaranteed, and they will start to bit by bit have confidence in themselves. And this is of course valid for adults as well. With that being said, I would really encourage you to go out there, be creative, engage in new things, open your eyes to everything that is around you, and this way, no matter the field you work with and you work in, you will definitely boost up your creativity. Thank you.